Marcus Mariota, one of the legends here. Speaking of legends, when it comes to like the Mount Rushmore of Oregon coaches, just go to that side of the desk right now. Mike Bellotti, Rich Brooks, and of course Nick Aliotti. Nadja Burton. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I should just get offset.
Guys, we appreciate you giving us a few minutes and stopping by because it's obviously homecoming. Chip Kelly making his return, but you guys have such a – you were part of the building blocks and put this place on the map. And, Rich, for you, could you have imagined when you took over this program that Oregon football would become what it is today?
Not really, because our facilities were dismal, to say the least, and I kind of – gave Mike Bellotti a Volkswagen, and he turned it into a F-150 Ford pickup, and then he gave it to Chip Kelly, and he turned it into a Cadillac Escalade. So, you know, the contributions from Phil Knight obviously helped this program, and we thought we were big time when we got the Casanova complex, which gave us some facilities, but what's happened since is just fantastic.
You know, Coach, I know you had just mentioned the fact that when Phil Knight got involved, but the truth of the story is Phil didn't really get that much involved until you guys had already built this thing into a winner and gone to Rose Bowls. What were some of the steps that the two of you guys took to even get it to that point?
Well, Phil is a guy that doesn't bet on a loser, so right. He wanted to see proof in the pudding before he put any money in. But in reality, he got excited when we went to the Rose Bowl and we went to the Cotton Bowl back-to-back, and I think he said, what do we need to do? What do we need to take it to the next level? And I remembered a conversation I had with Rich where I said, what do we need? And he said, you need an indoor facility. So I said, oh, okay, well, I hadn't even thought of that. But I said, okay, we need an indoor facility. And Phil said, okay, how long will that take? I said, well, we got a fundraise, he says, no. How long will it take to build? I go, oh, okay, well, we can probably get that done pretty quick.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach Brooks put this place on the map in '94. We hadn't done anything in a long time, got us to some bowl games, and '94 going to the Rose Bowl was unbelievable. But, Coach, you've seen a lot of quarterbacks in this league because you've been here a long time, both of you guys. This is for both of you guys. How would you compare Justin Herbert to the quarterbacks you've seen in this league?
Well, he's, I think, up there with the best of them. Still, a lot remains to be seen. He has had some fantastic games and a couple that aren't so good. So he's got to show it on a consistent basis, and I'm sure he'll get a shot whether he decides to do it this year or next, but he'll get a shot in the NFL. And as I've heard you say many times, he does look like a more transitioned quarterback into a pro offense than maybe a Marcus Mariota was, who used his legs a lot more than Herbert does. But this school has had a lot of great quarterbacks. You know, you go back to our early days with Chris Miller and Bill Musgrave, and Danny O'Neill, and you know, it goes on, and you go back to Norm Van Brocklin and Dan Fouts, and this has been a pretty good quarterback university.
Well, you quoted me, or you tweeted out after I'd said what I thought about Justin Herbert, and I wasn't trying to get him to leave. I think he's the best potential pro prospect at quarterback this school's ever had. And Marcus Mariota may be the quintessential college quarterback, but Justin Herbert is almost 6'6", he's 240. He can move enough, but he's got a great arm and great accuracy. Now, he hasn't played very well the last two games, and I agree. He's going to have to improve that to keep his stock where it's at. But the reality is he's throwing down the field into tight windows, not 5 and 10 yards, but 15, 18, 25 yards. And I think he was not helped a lot by his receivers early, but they are catching up now with the ball. And I think he obviously needs to be a factor, not just this game, but the rest of the season.
You know, he can make all the throws. I mean, he can make the sideline throw. He can make the deep throw with pinpoint accuracy, and the ball gets there in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I know we had talked a little bit offset, and Mike had asked Nick, what his favorite memory was, and I'm curious, Coach Bellotti, because you were there with Coach Brooks when you were building it. Then you handed it off like the F-150, and it turned into an Escalade. Of all the moments, what's the one moment that you look back on that makes the biggest smile come on your face here at Oregon?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I didn't really think that would be one of the. I can remember one game in Autzen Stadium though, and it was the Civil War. and it was foggy, and it was not a close game early, but then we started pulling away. And literally in the fourth quarter, the fog came over the side and dropped down on the field, and the guys upstairs could not see what was happening. They say, Coach, what's the down and distance? What group do they have in? And we'd relay that information. We'd make the call from the sideline because you could not see what was happening. And the good thing was we won like 58-16, so that was even better.
Yeah, he accidentally brought up the one game. I think that was the one I coached against him. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate that.
Two coaches that were awesome for a long time. To both of you guys, what's the one thing you miss most about coaching?
Well, I just miss the interaction with the players and seeing them grow from young high school people when they come in, for the most part when they leave, responsible adults. Not always 100%, but seeing that development and being part of that, and then seeing them years later in their successful careers, that's what I miss the most.
The relationship with the players and coaches, absolutely. I don't think there's anything, though, that beats singing the fight song in the locker room after you win a football game. There's nothing that matches that in terms of the intensity, the joy, just the relief sometimes to win, but with your crew.
You know, earlier in the show, we had an interview with Coach Cristobal, and he talked about family and relationships, and you come to Eugene, and I know the three of you guys are basically like family because I hear about all the golfing stories of the three of you guys playing. Mike, is his game getting better? I mean, he's had some time to work on it. Coach
I haven't
Aliotti.
had a chance to play with him lately, but it was pretty good. It fluctuates as all of ours do.
Oh, God.
He beats me more often than he used to. So
That's the way
I don't
you're
know
working
whether
on
that
it.
speaks to his improvement or my decline.
Coach, it is great to have you with us. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the game later today.
Thank you.
Thank you.